Welcome to the Essendon Baseball Club and Game 2 on Day 2 of the Under-18 Australian Youth National Championships here in Melbourne, Victoria. My name is Robert Novotny. I will be your play-by-play announcer today. Despite my funny accent, I'm a 20-year resident of the city of Melbourne, a former youth director for the Chicago White Sox, a scout for the Texas Rangers, and a coach in the Australian national program. I'll be guiding you through the game today, and I'd like to set the scene as what's happening today. We just finished the game in which the ACT Roos, who will be the home team today, fell to the New South Wales country team by a score of 11-7. That puts their record at 0-3, sitting at the bottom of the table. And Western Australia is playing their first game of the day today. They're sitting at 1-0, the reigning silver medalists in this event, hoping to, with a win, hopefully for them today, to cement their place as one of the favorites, hoping to march towards the finals. We've got really two very different teams here today between both of them. For Kurt Russell's WA team, they have 15 players who have won national charters or played in representative state ball in the past. They've got extreme lineup depth as well as a lot of pitching depth, which has allowed them a fair bit allows them a fair bit of flexibility in their pitching matchups. Whereas ACT is a very different kettle of fish. They've got players from a lot of different places, only 3 natives to the ACT, with 2 out of Queensland, 5 out of Vic and New South Wales. 4 South Australians and 1 even a Western Australians here playing for the ACT team. Again, they've already played 3 games and they've dropped 3, so their focus is probably a little bit different than WA. And indeed, WA is coming in with probably a little bit different lineup than they did yesterday. And with that, we'll give you the starting lineups for today's game. First batting today would be the visitors from WA. Leading off and playing right field will be Carlton Branch from the South Perth Baseball Club. Batting second and playing short will be number 9, Quinn Fatai from the Wanneroo Giants. Batting third will be the designated hitter, Zy Gordon from the Morley Eagles. And we have a couple more Wanneroo Giants, the third baseman, Cooper Barber from Wanneroo, as well as center fielder, batting fifth, Harry Wooden from the Giants. Batting sixth is the catcher, Monty Smith from the Rockingham Giants. Batting 7th is Chase Bensman from Wanneroo. Batting 8th, by the way, Chase is playing first base. Batting 8th is the second baseman, Ben Hanna. And batting 9th is Joel Vlasic from South Perth. And then the defensive lineup for the ACT Roos today. Around the diamond from left to right, we've got Dom Hamilton from Weston Creek in the ACT. In center, Joseph Lowton from the Yarrawarra Tigers in the ACT. And Sam Barden from the Turakara Kissing Point Club in the ACT. Around the infield at third base, we have Kai Harris from Forest, New South Wales. Kai Vecchi from Balcombe Hills in New South Wales. At second base, Cam Lewis from Townsville, Queensland. First base, Owen Hughes from Golden Grove Central District. Behind the plate, Oscar Kelly from the Rebels Club in the ACT. And on the mound, making his third appearance in 4 games, Ned Richards, who plays for the Melbourne Braves in Victoria. And that'll bring to the plate, again, leading off from South Perth, the right fielder, Carlton Branch. Richards comes set, the lefty. And he hits the first batter, hit by pitch. That punches Branch on the plate. Didn't even give the home plate umpire a chance to call a pitch. And then I'll bring up the shortstop, again from Wanneroo, number 9, Quinn Fatai. Nice move by Richards, did not make the throw. Branch is going to get all the way to third as Hughes tracks down the ball and gets it back into the middle. And just like that, scoring opportunity sitting in front of the WA State's ball club. Richards misses high, ball 1. Again, mentioned young Richards has made 3 appearances. This is his 3rd appearance on the tournament. That's a drive back. That's going to get over the head of left fielder Dom Hamilton. That is ruled a ground rule double as WA gets on the board early as Branch scores on the ground rule double by Fatai. And just like that, WA is beginning to make their mark. Stepping up next to the plate will be the designated hitter for today's game. Plays back home for the Morley Eagles. Now batting Zy Gordon. And strike 1. Let's see what Gordon's looking to do here. Ty takes off. Nice throw by Oscar Kelly, native of the ACT. Snap throw, nails him at 3rd. And as they say, don't make the first or third out at 3rd. And in the end, Kelly makes them pay. I didn't get the ball strike call there. Just checking with our scores. This count is 0-1, called a strike. And nice off-speed pitch. My apologies, strike 3. I missed the first strike call there with 2 away. That'll bring up the 3rd baseman, Cooper Barber. Barber has had a good series so far. He hit a homer in the lone WA game yesterday. Barber again with the Wanneroo Giants. Wide for ball 1. Other players to keep an eye on in the WA lineup today as well. Leadoff man Carlton Branch, 3 for 4, as we saw he scored the initial run. Two balls, no strikes on Barber. Nice off-speed pitch in the outside corner. Runs count to 2-1. Three balls, 1 strike. Part of the challenge here for these ACT guys as well is that they really have to form their chemistry fast. We talked about out of the 20 players, they're coming from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different states, or rather 5 states in the territory. Nice pitch just over the head of second baseman Cam Lewis out of Townsville. Second hit of the inning for WA. And that brings up another Wanneroo Giant, the center fielder today, Harry Wooden, stepping to the plate. We were just talking about the keys there a little bit for the ACT. They do have a lot of versatility, a lot of utility players, but they are a group that really hasn't had a lot of time together, given they come from so many different places. Strike 1. Kelly delivers an off-speed pitch, just breaks in across the inside corner. And that's part of the challenge, isn't it? And the ACT group really has been thrown into the fire. They're playing more games than anybody else. The first team to 4 games here, this being their 4th game here today. Again, a nice pickoff move by Richards. Kind of a little bit of jelly legs there for Barber, but he was back in time because he wasn't as anxious. Branch actually could have been picked off earlier before if Richard had made a good throw. So he's got a good move as a lefty. Misses high. Makes it 1 ball and 1 strike. Now you see that good move on the lefty. His father, Mark Richards, is a pitcher, but he's a righty of all things, so he certainly didn't pass down that move generationally. Another nice pitch, good movement on that ball. Makes the count 1-2 against Wooden. real chance to get out of here without a lot of damage. Oh, nice off speed, breaks across the inside corner. Richard does a great job to get out of it without a lot of damage. 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 left on base. And probably the real key here is that outstanding throw down to third base by the catcher, Kelly, to get Fatai on the caught stealing. So we're in the middle of the first inning. ACT hanging in there, but WA commands a 1-0 lead here in the middle of 1. Thanks for joining us here again at Essendon Baseball Club here, Don Cornish Field, for the second game of today's Junior Nationals in the under-18s. I'd like to give you the lineup for the ACT Roos. Leading off from the Balcombe Hills Baseball Club in New South Wales, Kai Yuki. Batting second, the center fielder, Joseph Lotan from the Tigers in New South Wales. Batting third, the catcher, Oscar Kelly from the Rebels, an ACT native. Batting fourth, the DH, Aidan Riddle from Greater Western in New South Wales. Batting fifth, Owen Hughes, the first baseman out of South Australia. Batting sixth, the left fielder, Dom Hamilton out of Weston Creek, another ACT native. Give you the rest of the lineup in a minute as Kai Yuki steps in. Oliver Newman delivers the ball for the first pitch here in the bottom of the first. Ball 2-0. Just getting through the rest of the lineup for the ACT. Batting seventh, Sam Barden out of New South Wales, the right fielder. Batting eighth, Cameron Lewis, Townsville in Queensland, at second base. As Newman delivers his first strike on the outside corner, and then batting ninth out of Forest, New South Wales, is Kai Harris for the ACT. 2 balls, 1 strike. Good discipline at the plate there by Yuki. 3 balls, 1 strike. The curveball just missed on the outer half. And ball 4. And just like that, the tying run is on first base for the ACT. And again, it'd be nice to watch these ACT guys as they progress through the tournament, because they haven't had a lot of time to come together. And here they are only in their 4th game, but they've only been together in their lives just a few days playing ball. So we should look to these guys to progress, and today might be the day, and this game might be the game. Now we have the center fielder stepping in, Joseph Lotan from Yarrawarra in New South Wales. Strike 1, as they say, the best pitch in baseball is strike 1. Newman leads off the second batter with the strike, looking to get ahead after the leadoff walk. Nice piece of hitting up the middle. Lotan with the single. And just like that, the ACT Roos are threatening. That's 2 on, none away here in the bottom of the first. The 1-0 WA state team against the 0-3 ACT Roos. As catcher Monty Smith heads out to talk to Oliver Newman. So we've got Newman throwing to Smith. Newman from the Perth Baseball Club, Monty Smith from the Rockingham Rams. Just going across the infield, we have Cooper Barber, Quinn Fatai, both from the Wanneroo Giants. Ben Hanna at second, Chase Benson from the Wanneroo Giants at first. We'll come to the outfield in just a moment as Newman comes set against Oscar Kelly from the Rebels in the ACT, the catcher batting third. Oh, another nice piece of hitting. Drops that in. He's probably going to hold him at third base coach. Nice job by Cooper Barber to smother that throw in from Harry Wooden in the dirt. Nice piece of hitting by Kelly, loads the bases. Nice to see that the Roos are not going to go quietly after a tough loss earlier. Seems like they're warmed up and ready to go. And that'll bring to the plate number 44, the designated hitter from Greater Western in New South Wales. It's Aiden Riddle stepping in. Now the ACT loaded the bases 3 times last game and only was able to come away with a couple runs. Hopefully that'll be a little different this time. Nobody out. And Newman falls behind again. You got to be feeling good in the ACT dugout, but I reckon they'd be pretty happy with a base hit here to drive in a couple, or maybe even a double to drive in 3 to get some momentum going early for these kids. And that's in the outfield, not catchable, out of play, as Joel Vlasic from South Perth gives chase. So we're sitting on a 1-1 count. At the end of the day, the big thing that you want to do here is at least get the ball into the outfield. Even the sacrifice fly, it's only 1 out, and you'll trade that out for a run any time. 2-1, so that puts Riddle into a better hitter's count. Now you're seeing the corners, Barber at third and Benson at first. The 2 Wanneroo Giants are playing in. They're going to try to take that double play through home plate to cut off the run. And there's that ground ball. Oh, and it just squeaks through. You'll take that. Get a ball to the outfield. Close play at the plate. Nice throw by Vlasic, well fielded by Smith, but not in time to stop Lotan from scoring. That's 2 runs in. As ACT takes a 2-0 lead on the seeing eye single by Riddle, and that's where having the corner Barber in. Barber probably could have gotten to that and saved 1 run, but they were playing up for the double play, and that's the consequence. And with this 2-1 game, we've got the first baseman from Golden Groves in Central District, South Australia, Owen Hughes, stepping to the plate. Strike 1. Newman gets ahead. And again, as we mentioned before, after loading the bases 3 times in the last game and only coming away with 2 runs, now the ACT has gotten 2 runs in their first bases loaded opportunity in the first inning, and still nobody out, hoping for more. And probably the big thing is here, you're trying to get, again, something into the outfield, ideally you want to pull a ball here into right field. If it gets through, fantastic. Even a fly ball at least is a productive out and gets the runner to third. You want to keep it off the ground in the infield because a double play would take the steam out of this inning a little bit. Ball inside. 2-1 count. Three and 1 count. The Roos like where they're sitting. And by the way, I just want to make sure we acknowledge the other outfielders. We referenced Joel Vlasic on that play, or on the scoring play earlier with a good throw to the plate. He's out of South Perth. Harry Wooden's in center from Wanneroo, and Colin Branch from South Perth, also from South Perth, is in right field today. Ooh, just on that, fouled it back to take us to a full count. Nobody out, you won't see the run. You wouldn't likely see the runners in motion here. And after an 0-3 start, playing more games than anybody else this quickly in the tournament, it's nice to see the ACT kids jumping out to an early lead. Again, just missed. Runners were obviously not in motion. And ball four loads the bases again for the second time. And for a group of kids who's just finding themselves and finding some resilience, it's nice to see this resiliency. It creates a bit of a vibe and a bit of an opportunity for them to feel good about themselves and what's possible as a team. They're already into their 6th hitter in the lineup, another native ACT player stepping to the plate, the left fielder. As we've got a short mound visit here. That'll give us a chance to tell you who our umpires are today, as Sean Bourne from South Australia goes out to break it up. At first base on the right side, the right side of the infield, we have Josh Natabesi out of the ACT. And on the left side today, we have Pat White out of Victoria. Natabesi, I believe we've seen in some ABL games, and perhaps he's working the one over at Melbourne Ballpark tonight. Again, that brings up Dom Hamilton. Looks like his ground ball might get through. No, it does not. But a nice play across the infield. Quinn Fatai deep in the hole from the Wanneroo Club. Across the diamond to Chase Benson, his regular season teammate with the Giants, but not before the RBI infield ground out by Hamilton plates Kelly for the 3rd ACT run, and that'll bring up the right fielder from the Angels in New South Wales, the right fielder Sam Barden. As Barden takes ball one. Still early, 3-0 for ACT, only one away and runners on 2nd and 3rd. That'll even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. And again, what you're looking for, even a ground ball up the middle is going to score a runner from 3rd. But ideally, again, you want to get something in the outfield if you can. Ideally into right field to the right side, advances the runner at 2nd. Now that's high. That's probably not deep enough to score the run. And indeed, a nice play by Vlasic to get behind the ball and get some momentum as he catches to throw through it. Riddle at 3rd did not give any thought to trying to score, and that makes it 2 away. And that'll bring up the 2nd baseman out of Townsville in Queensland, Cameron Lewis. Ground ball. Quinn grabs it across the diamond. Nice effort by Benson. Comes off the bag a little bit to stretch and pick it out of the dirt. Heck of a play by Benson to save another run, probably 2 there. And he finds his foot back in the bag, and Natabesi makes sure that that foot does get on the bag before making the call. Nice inning. They probably wanted a little more there, but not a bad go for ACT. 3 runs on 1, 2, 3 hits and a couple of walks, 2 lift on base. We are through 1 complete. And the boys from ACT and Ned Richards have to be feeling good with a lead here through 1 of 3-1.
That ball is out of here.
Don't miss a moment with the ABL Access Pass. Get yours today.
All right, we're back here in the top of the second. And we'll see if Kurt Russell's WA squad has an answer. Again, the silver medal winners last year. And as Russell is quoted as saying, this team is built for tournament baseball with 15 players who have won national charter championships and also played at state level a number of times before. They understand the rhythms. They understand the pressure. So a 3-1 lead or 3-1 deficit early is not going to faze these guys. It's a very deep lineup. And in fact, they're playing a lot of guys differently than they did in their game yesterday because it's a deep lineup. So it's pretty early here in a seven inning, 2 hour and 5 minute plus ball game. And that'll bring to the plate leading off in the second. It is this catcher, Monty Smith. And Smith takes ball one on the outside corner. Smith plays for the Rockingham Rams back over in the West. As Richards misses again, 2-0 count. And I don't mean to be a prognosticator of bad news, but you sure don't want to walk the leadoff hitter after you just scored 3 runs to take the lead. And indeed, Richards goes 3-0. It's got to come with a strike here. You can't let a good team like the ACT back in with a walk after your team went out and really had your back with those 3 runs. And Richards hits the outside corner, maybe his hardest pitch he's thrown so far today. That's nice to see. 3-1 count. A little bit of an off speed there, broke in. Good job of Monty Smith in keeping his hands inside the ball there, just kind of dumps it into left field. And look, at the end of the day, you hate to give up the walk, but you'd rather make him earn it with a hit. It's not like it was a nice piece of hitting to get bat on ball by keeping his hands inside of it and getting it off the barrel. And in the end, he dumped it in there and got lucky to get the double with a nice swing and a nice piece of hitting. And all of a sudden, WA, the experienced tournament players, are coming back with an answer, and that'll bring up Hill. He made a nice play over at first before Chase Bensman from Wanneroo steps to the plate. Richards misses just high. Ground ball, nice piece of hitting there. Cam Lewis couldn't quite make the play there, but by knocking it down, he ensures that the run doesn't score. It was a nice effort, but you really got to say, Bensman, that was a nice piece of hitting there. With a runner on second, what do you want to do? You want to hit it to the opposite side so that runner does get to third, even if you make an out. Sure enough, he got on base as well, but we'll see what the scorers ruled that as. And that'll bring up next, speaking of second baseman, that'll bring up number 7, Ben Hanna. And that was scored as a hit for Bensman on that nice piece of hitting to go the opposite way. And Richards with that move, yes, and he gets him. Owen Hughes lays down the tag. John Natabesi has the call for 1 out. And that's that pickoff move we've seen, 3 times today. He's had guys with the jelly legs over at first base, and in a crucial moment, he's able to get that out. Now he's really got to pitch for the strikeout here, because any kind of a contact is going to score the run. The infield's playing back. Oh, to be fair, the shortstop, Yuki, is from Balcombe Hills in New South Wales. He's playing medium depth. You think if there's a hard hit ball to short, he might think about coming home, but now he's actually backing off a little bit again. So really, this is a contact play for Hanna. All he wants to do is put it in play on the ground or in the air to the outfield. 1 ball, 1 strike as Richards follows up with the strike. And again, he wants to play for the strikeout here. Hanna's playing for contact here. The only thing you don't want if your Hanna's a strikeout or a pop-up in the infield, really. 2-1 on Richards. And you'd hate to give up the walk here, but at least it does line up the double play. You don't necessarily want to throw him a cookie here, but he is number 8. That being said, he is number 8 in the lineup as well. And Richards misses high, 3-1. And Hannah's got to be looking for a pitch here that he can lift and get into the outfield if he can. Something he can hit hard, but he's got to execute his job here, which is either on the ground up the middle or a fly ball to the outfield. And he was just on that. That was a pitch up a little bit, brings the count to 3-2. Pitch was up a little bit, and he just missed it because indeed he was trying to drive it and get it into the outfield. Nice effort by Hannah, didn't quite connect. He was right on it. Richards delivers. Just misses for ball 4. And again, he didn't want to give him a cookie when he was right on that fastball, so he came with the off speed. Unfortunately, he missed that. Unfortunately for Richards, he missed that. But he does have number 9 coming up in Vlasic. The double play is in order. A ground ball gets him out of the inning. Strikeout will be lovely for him here too. Again, the number 9 hitter Vlasic to the plate. He's out of South Perth. And he gets the ground ball, cannot convert it. Richards did the job with the number 9 hitter to get the ground ball that he wanted. It just didn't go to plan. Lewis, who made the nice diving stop before, is going to be probably called for an error on that one there. That could have been a double play. Indeed, it is an error. Could have been a double play. Certainly should have been an out. But all of a sudden that allowed WA to have an answer and to turn over the lineup with only 1 out, and that'll bring up Carlton Branch from South Perth. He was hit by the very first pitch of the game before. Oh, nice throw. Didn't quite get him. A little offline actually on the throw. Great release by Oscar Kelly out of the ACT. Now only one runner is in motion there. Either somebody either missed the sign to go or missed the sign to not go there, but the result is again runners on second and third and only in 1 out. And the job here is you want to hit the ball on the ground or in the air to the outfield to the right side. You want to pull the ball here if you're Branch. And nice job by by Richards. He missed unfortunately, but he was looking away, hoping that he might roll over the ball. The infield is playing back for the Roos. They don't want to let a ball get through to score 2 runs. As it counts 2-0. Again, you maybe don't want to necessarily give him a cookie here because a base hit's going to score 2 and give up the lead. A walk with first base open does keep the double play in order, so you don't have to give him a cookie, as I said here. Misses with the off-speed pitch. As Branch loads the bases. We got a break in the action here just as we have a mound visit. We're going to stop for stations around the country to do a quick identification, and we'll be right back. All right, Sean Bourne takes a few steps out to break it up. Head coach Chris Rickard heads back to the dugout. This is a real steely moment in the ball game. We'll see how Ned Richards responds, and we'll see what Rickard's record is after taking trips out to the mound. With the bases loaded and only 1 out, that brings up from Wanneroo Quinn Fatai. And he's jumping on that first pitch strike, fouls it back. Richards has to like that he's ahead in the count. You're really hoping for a double play here, and yes, you are seeing the corners in for the ACT. Harris in at third and Hughes in at first. They're going to take that double play home through the catcher. And another off-speed pitch fouled back to make the count 0-2. Now, if you trust your catcher here, if you trust Kelly, you're going to go for the strikeout here if you can. But nothing too good, 0-2. Comes with the fastball, misses low. And if you're Quinn, you want to be putting that ball in the outfield. You need something you can get out of the infield to ensure another run. Ball speed pitch away, evens it up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Big moment, base hit gives WA an early lead here, gets it back to them. Where's the ground ball, gets him out of here, if they can turn a double play. Still coming with a big swing with 2 strikes. 3 fouls back in this at bat. This is one where I might bear down myself a little bit and look to put the ball, get something I can even just hit the opposite way and make sure you get it to the outfield. And there was that pitch away and a full count. Only 1 out here. Well, shame on us. Either we did not have the count right, or that was a hit by pitch that just nicked him on the foot. Could not tell from our vantage point, but nonetheless, it was a hit by pitch. I'm getting confirmation here from our scores. It was a hit by pitch. Oh. Just was 4 balls. Forgive us, folks. You're watching at home, and you probably know what's going on better than us here in the bird's eye view from the booth, from the great camera work we get from the guys at Spacequake. But at the end of the day, that's a run in that ties the game, and that brings up the designated hitter, Zy Gordon from the Morley Eagles, as Richard misses high. And that evens the count at 1-1. Two balls, 1 strike. Again, trying to avoid the double play, getting something into the outfield if you can. That evens the count. Apologies, folks. We're falling a little bit behind the game up here. That's a strikeout, exactly what Richards needed. And with 2 away, that'll bring up the third baseman, Cooper Barber. If Richards can get out of this at this point, holding the tie game, they'll have to feel good about things. We're debating here up in the booth on that previous one, on that previous walk. It may have been a ball missed down on the field. Anyway. Just defending our dear scorers, that's all. One ball, 1 strike to Barber. A base hit will score a couple. Two and one. Bases loaded, couple runs in for WA. Tie ball game 3-3. 2-1 to Barber. Richards delivers. Nice pitch in the outside corner, 2-2. Ground ball. Harris grabs it, takes it himself out of New South Wales. For WA in the inning, 2 runs on 2 hits and 3 walks. 3 left on base. We are through 2. I'm sorry, we are in the middle of 2. We have a tie game, 3-3. Hey, if you're enjoying the game today, it's a great time to get out yourself and play, whether you're an adult, a Masters player, a junior, a girl, or a woman. It doesn't matter. There's a place for you in baseball here in Victoria and across Australia. It's a great time to join the Australian baseball community. Indeed, with participation rates are actually up 11% over the last 2 years and 22% year on year as of October. And it's great to see our retention rates are well above industry standards. Our community becomes more vibrant by the day. Whether, as we said, you're 7 or 77, a seasoned professional, or have no idea how to hold a bat or ball, the baseball community welcomes you, and that's what it's about. It's about community around this great game. Find your club using Club Finder on baseball.com.au. Okay, let's see if the Roos can come back with an answer again. Made a nice play there to end the inning. That'll bring up the third baseman, Kai Harris. Newman misses high with the first pitch of the inning. One ball, one strike to Harris. Top of the order due up next. We got 2 balls and 2 strikes on the leadoff man, Kai Harris, here in the bottom of the second. ACT came through with 3 last inning, hoping to bounce back and break the tie after WA answered. Ground ball, line drive up the middle over the head of leaping shortstop Quinn Fatai. And it's always nice when you get your number 9 hitter on base to lead off an inning. And that'll bring up the top of the order from Balcombe Hills in New South Wales, the shortstop, Kai Yuki. Strike 1 to Yuki. He played in the AYCs last year in the 16 and unders, and he's played in the Senior League and Junior League national championships as well. So seasoned veteran, if you will, of these type of events, just like many of the WA players are, as we were speaking about earlier. Nice piece of hitting up the middle. Now the thing you've got to remember about these ACT guys, we've been stressing it through the broadcast, they haven't been together a whole lot and played together as a team. And you look at a group. You look at a group like we'll see in the later game from Queensland, who's played in Taiwan and played a series against New Zealand. These guys from the ACT haven't played hardly a game together. This is their 4th game, and it's starting to show. Oscar Kelly, the catcher, steps in. I'm sorry, Joseph Loten, the center fielder, steps in. Pop up on the infield, actually just past the infield. Oh, just gets by a diving Vlasic. That's going to be listed as a hit. Wooden didn't quite get a beat on it. Fatai was hustling out, but it was beyond him. Wooden didn't call off Vlasic, and the ball drops in. Ruled a single by our scorers from what I'm hearing. And all of a sudden, for the second time in this game, 3 times in the last game, and now for the second time in 2 innings this game, the ACT has loaded the bases, and it looks like these kids are going to have an answer once again. Just checking out there, that can't tell from the distance, but I believe that is Nicole Gunsberg, the physio. Gunny, an international women's baseball player herself, traveling the world to Asia and across the United States for the Aussie Hearts women's baseball program. And she's joined by head coach Brandon Migro as well, to see if everything's all right. Thankfully, Wooden's doing okay. The Wanneroo Giant, thumbs up from the head coach, assistant coach Brandon Murgo. And I'm going to have to apologize again. It was the left fielder who they were checking on, not the center fielder. Glad that Vlasic is okay. I apologize. I need bifocal glasses to read my book and to see what's going on in the field sometimes. Thankfully, we've got some great scorers who clue me in. And up steps to the plate again, Oscar Kelly, with the bases loaded. And Newman fires in for strike one. Kelly's played in the Senior League Nationals and the School Sports Nationals here in 2025 past. He puts that ball in the air. This time it looks like it is going to be caught, but that wind is something out there, and it drops in again. And there's a tag at the plate. Boy, in the end, Wooden dropped in front of Wooden. He made a nice one-hop throw to the plate. Monty Smith did a great catch and tag. You can't blame the runner. Now watch this here. You'd think this would be caught. We've had a lot of winds here in Melbourne, especially yesterday in that hot fire danger day. Maybe a bit of sun. It gets beyond shortstop Fatai. Wooden picks it up, makes the throw home. Look at this one hop as Smith catch tag. That is top level play, and the 16 pro baseball teams that are out here scouting for Major League Baseball had to notice that. Nice play by Monty Smith. No run scored as Aiden Riddle, the DH, steps in. No balls, one strike on Riddle. Off-speed pitch, a lot of curve there, but curve way off the plate, evens the count 1-1 to Riddle. Boy, that's a fielder's choice you don't see too many times. I don't think it quite tipped off the shortstop's glove, but an 8-2 fielder's choice to the plate is not one that you see too often. Ground ball. That's going to get through the middle. A diving Cooper Barber can't quite make the play. Vlasic throw to the plate. Another nice throw by Vlasic, but also late again. A late two-run single for the ACT. That's going to bring in Yuki and Lotan. And watch here, you're just going to get under the glove of Barber. You'll see Vlasic charging. But Lotan had a good jump because with two away, he was moving on contact. Monty Smith couldn't quite throw the tag down on that one, not there in time. And that's going to bring up the first baseman, Owen Hughes. And just to get back to you a little bit earlier on that play in the replay, just checking in here, it was actually a double play because the infield fly was called, and then they had that great Monty Smith tag at the plate. That's why we're sitting at 2 outs at the moment. We have a 2-0 count here. 5-3 ball game. Just miss on the inside corner. 3-0. And ACT may not be done just yet. And that's a walk. All of a sudden, another duck on the pond there at second base with the walk to Hughes, and that'll bring up the left fielder out of Weston Creek, a native of the ACT, Dom Hamilton. But we're going to have a break in the action here as we're going to see a pitching change. Kurt Russell goes out to make the change. So the pitch count of 43, just making sure there's a bit of strategy there with Newman. If he gets over 45 pitches there and he only got to 43, if he gets over 45, he's going to have 2 days of rest instead of, I'm sorry, he's going to have 2 days of rest instead of 1 day of rest. So there you go. So that was a strategic move on the part of Russell, and that will let you know who the new pitcher is in just a moment. Looks like it's Taylor Cook out of Rockingham, number 78, stepping on for WA. Potentially Newman could have gotten out of that, but again, it was a strategic choice based around pitch count, so they get Newman back a day sooner in the tournament here. And it looks like he's just about the end of his warm-up pitches as home plate umpire Sean Bourne steps closer to the plate. And again, waiting to bat, we have Don Weston out of the ACT. And Hamilton steps in situationally. We've had 2 runs in for the ACT. Second inning with the bases loaded that they've scored a crooked number, improving upon their efforts from the earlier game. And we have a new pitcher, Taylor Cook from Rockingham. And he throws ball 1. Cook fires the fastball. Hamilton a bit late, evening the count. And with 2 away, a clean base hit's what's going to take to score a run from second. Aiden Riddle. 2-1, misses away. And all of a sudden, we're 1 pitch away from seeing the ACT in another a fresh bases loaded situation. 2-2. And he strikes him out to end the threat, but not before the ACT scores 2 runs on a couple of hits and 2 left on base. And here we are through 2 complete, with the ACT boys from all across Australia beginning to gel and taking the lead over Western Australia, one of the favorites, by a score of 5-3.
There's a breed out there that don't fit the mold. They don't see a challenge. No failures. Just lessons. And while you might not have seen it, they've been working. They don't fit in. They're happy to be different. Excuses. What's that? They don't need to be the best. Just better than they were yesterday. And while some see different, we see better. PTP. Different. Better.
It's a second just by Lewis, grabbed by Yuki, over to Harris, and now back into the hands of Ned Richards, who's starting his third inning. After throwing in a couple of games yesterday, he's extending a little bit today. We'll have his pitch count for you in a second. And that's going to bring up the center fielder, Harry Wooden, to the plate. That's a second hit by pitch, and he started the first inning hitting the leadoff batter. Now he's hit the leadoff batter in the third. And again, that's not what you want to do. WA's put the leadoff hitter on now in 3 innings, and they've scored every time. And that'll bring up the catcher, by the way, with the slick tag previously, Monty Smith. And Smith takes strike 1. We were just talking before what a nice job on that catch and tag Smith made. That was an incredible double play, actually. The infield fly was called. Ball bounced just beyond the shortstop's glove, Fatai's glove. Ooh. Drive out into right, deep, but not deep enough. Sam Barden from Kissing Point makes the play, and that's the first out of the inning. Fly out to right. And with one away, runner on first here in the top of the third. That'll bring up from the Wanneroo Giants first baseman Chase Bensman. They were just saying before that, a nice tag by Monty Smith, the ball just over the glove of Fatai. Wooden grabs it. Umpires call infield fly for 1 out. And then for the third, for the second, potentially the second pickoff, we have the rundown. Richards covers first, not in time. Good call. Good call by John Natabeshti at third. They just held on to the ball a little bit too long and didn't allow Richards enough time to make the tag. But is that, I'm just counting in my head here, is that the 4th time he's gotten somebody with the jelly legs? and he's only picked off 1 of those 4, but man, he is fooling him over there on the mound, Richards. And that would have been a great way to erase that leadoff batter and be on their way towards ending this inning quickly. Rather, Bensman steps in with a runner on board and 1 away. And he records a strike. Nice off-speed pitch. That was a nice get-ahead curveball. Sometimes when you think a guy's sitting fastball, just loop that curveball over. Get ahead in the count. Get strike 1. And there's another curve. Could not maintain his grip on that, and the spin not sharp enough. Ball a bit high, and we've evened the count at 1-1. But anyway, umpire calls an infield fly over the shortstop's glove. Center fielder Wooden fires to the plate. 1 hopper. Monty Smith makes the catch and tag in 1 motion. Nice play, 2-1 count. Don't see, that's a double play. You've been around the game a long time, and I'll tell you what, you don't see an infield fly 8-2 double play very often. After a few curveballs, he fires back with the fastball, evens the count at 2-2. Bensman not able to catch up, fouls it off. And we'll see what he comes with here. If he can get a good spin on the off speed, that might be the thing to throw here to try to get the double play. 3-2 he missed. Definitely not the curveball. Could have been a slider. There was a bit of movement on that pitch, but again, I need the bifocals, and I'm up here in the Eagles' nest. But certainly with 3-2, you want to make sure he puts the ball in play here. You got to make him earn it, and he does with the fastball. Nice grab by the shortstop. Crosses it. Won't be in time. Maybe better to eat that ball. Nice effort by Yuki to keep it in the infield. That being said, he made sure of that throw and put it on one bounce, so it was pretty easy for Hughes to control over at first. But suddenly WA is threatening again with an infield hit, and that'll bring up the second baseman with runners on first and second, and only one away, Ben Hanna. Could be two away, and nobody, or only a runner on first, but did not convert the pickoff just a few minutes ago. And a nice off-speed pitch again. He's throwing off count a little bit, and that's a good sign when a pitcher can get his curveball over for a strike when he needs to. That's important. Anytime you get ahead in the count, you really increase the batting average percentages in your favor. 0-1 pitch with one away. Just missed nicking him on the elbow guard, luckily. Luckily, Hanna got out of the way, or luckily for Richards at least. That evens the count at 1-1. And probably hoping for a double play ball here if he can get away with it. Again, a slider breaks across the outer half. Nice to see Richards mixing in those off-speed pitches. Certainly some of these major league and NCAA college scouts will be like seeing that. With the fastball, ground ball, nice sliding play, converts it this time. Boy, you got to give your Cam Lewis has not been afraid to get on the ground from way up in Townsville. He's not afraid to get dirty on that turf, and he's laid out. It's the third time he's laid out today. One for an infield hit, one for an error, and one now actually to convert. Richards is on 62 pitches. We'll see if they're going to make a change here. Rickard does come out to make the change. He takes the ball from Richards. You see his teammates, again, hailing from 5 states and 3 from the ACT itself. Going to give him a hand. And again, that's pitch count control there. So good management there for Rickard. So that's going to mean only 2 days after he threw a couple of times yesterday and kept his count low. Now he's come in and thrown a bit more. Just got over that 60, but because he started with less than 60 pitches on that batter, that means he's now only got to rest a couple of days. If he'd thrown to another batter and exceeded getting up closer to that 80, the next threshold at 80, it would have been an extra day and 3 days of rest. So good pitch management by Rickard. It's a shame that Richards couldn't quite get out of the inning. If they could have converted that pickoff play, he might have been able to actually complete the inning. Instead, we've got a pitching change, and we'll be back to you with that in just a moment. So on the mound, we have Liam Koster wearing number 33. And if there's ever a guy to come in a comfortable situation in this field, in this situation, it's got to be Koster, because this is the mound he throws on for the Essendon Baseball Club. He's one of the number that come out of come out of Victoria. We've got, again, 5 Victoria players, and Koster's from Essendon, and he's going to step in with 2 outs and runners on second, third. Key situation. And stepping to the plate is the number 9 hitter, Joel Vlasic, the left fielder out of South Perth. He grounded to second last time. It was an error on that one of those diving plays we were speaking of previously with Cam Lewis. So that's ball 1. We have 1 ball, no strikes. And that's a hit past a diving Harris, and that's going to score 2. And all of a sudden we have a tie game, and because we didn't hit the cutoff man, because we didn't hit the cutoff man and line it up properly. That allowed Vlasic to get to second base as he reaches for the second time today. 2 RBIs for the young man. And watch this diving play by Harris out of Forest. Nice effort, just gets under his glove. Besman going hard. Good throw, but there just wasn't going to be a chance to get him, and unfortunately that allowed Vlasic to get to second base. Top of the order again, Carlton Branch hit by a pitch and walked, and that ball gets by. Vlasic takes third on the wild pitch, and just like that, suddenly we could see the CWA take a lead here on the ACT. One ball, no strikes on Branch. Coster fires, ball in the air, who's got it? Harris calls it, drifts over towards short, but not before the damage is done. A couple of runs on 1, 2, I believe we had 3 hits that inning. Tie game. We're in the middle of the third, and just like that, it's a 5-5 ball game. WA evening things up with the ACT. Just a quick correction, that was actually 2 runs on 2 hits with 1 left on base. Just a quick break in the action, and we'll be right back for the bottom of the third. Back here, 1 pitch into the bottom of the third, and Sam Barden fouls that pitch off the right fielder from Turakara Kissing Point Angels in New South Wales. And that'll even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Taylor Cook now into his second inning. Nice piece of hitting by Barden. That'll hang up though in the outfield for Harry Wooden out of Wanneroo to grab it, and just like that there's 1 away with a fly out to center. That'll bring up the second baseman wearing number 2 out of Townsville. We've talked about him a bit, not afraid to get dirty and make some plays today. Cameron Lewis stepping to the plate. And Cook gets ahead with strike 1. And a lot of these college scouts will like a kid like Lewis getting dirty as well, seeing that effort here at Nationals. And that'll even the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Ooh, 2-1, just missed inside. As we mentioned before, there's 16 MLB scouts scouting this tournament. And it's really impressive through the years how many players out of these events have actually, strike on the outside corner, 2-2. It's really impressive the amount of players who have had success and headed over to the U.S. Over 100-plus players have played in U.S. colleges over the last year. Strike 3. And that's 2 away, just like that really decisive inning so far for Cook on the strikeout. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, third baseman, also getting dirty today out of Forest in New South Wales, Kai Harris stepping to the plate. And that might be our first 1-2-3 inning. Nifty play and an iffy throw across the diamond. Fatai makes a nifty play, and Chase Benson digs out a teammate, Wanneroo teammate once again with that full body laying out, again getting dirty. Watch this play. Not necessarily an easy ball up the middle, just a little easier on the turf because at least you know what kind of hop you're going to get. Throws off balance and probably had a lot more time there to make that throw than he needed to. I guess he's a little relying on Benson and his ability to glove a ball like that. But nonetheless, you do want to make sure when you've got that much time to set your feet and make a good throw across the diamond. Because the thing that we're getting away with a little bit here in Essendon is the fact that you saw Fatai get that good hop and you see Benson picking those balls. That ball jumped off what would have been the grass and the green, but it jumped onto a consistent surface in the turf. And I can tell you years ago here at the Essendon Club and a lot of clubs with that brick dust dark infield, if it wasn't artificial turf, you're going to get a funny hop coming off the grass. But in this case, a consistent surface has allowed a consistent result for some of our fielders. So that was our first 1-2-3 inning. No runs on no hits, nobody left on base. We are in the middle of the, we're through 3 complete, and we got a 5-5 ball game.
Let's see how you do.
About an hour and 15 minutes, and we're at the top of the lineup here with Carlton Branch stepping in against Liam Coster. And that's a big swing just past the infield. Who's going to get it? The shortstop, Yuki. Oh, cannot make the play. Now you see those trees rustling in the background, and we had tremendous winds if you were watching yesterday, just all across Victoria. By the way, the in softball today, the under 14 and the women's nationals have been playing this week as well. Lots of impact, the heat and the wind on these games, and probably an impact on that play as well. Next we have stepping in the designated hitter, Zai Gordon. And I do want to apologize, we were not at the top of the order. That was actually the shortstop, Quinn Fatai. Swings through it for strike 1. Just for the record, that was an error on the shortstop, Kai Yuki, in these windy conditions. Ball in. Nice pick out of the dirt by Oscar Kelly, one of our ACT natives here today. One ball, one strike. Boy, I'm wondering how comfortable Coster is in the mound. He sure seems to be throwing well. What a surreal situation. You come to your home club to play nationals wearing the colors of our capital territory. It's an unusual situation, but I'm sure he and his family are enjoying every bit of it. Ooh. Thank God we don't have a mascot out here today. That would have been dangerous. But these things happen. Fatai makes his way to second on the wild pitch. And WA is one hit away of jumping ahead in this very tight ball game. And he misses away. And that runs the count full. He's got room at first. But you probably don't want to get into a big inning here. You're looking for a strike. Indeed, and he fouls it straight back as we stay with the full count. Nobody out, runner at second base in scoring position. 5-5 ball game here in the top of the fourth. And that all of a sudden is a brewing threat for the boys from WA. And coming up for his third appearance today, he singled earlier in the game in the first inning. That'll bring up the third baseman, number 58, Cooper Barber. And he takes the sign. Nobody out here. You wouldn't think that this is a bunt situation the way the runs and the hits have been flying, but you never know. And especially after the walk, as we see ball one. Coster comes set, delivers the 1-0. Big hole between short and third. No hesitation to wave the runner around. Fatai comes in to score. That breaks the deadlock here in the fourth. WA now leads 6-5 on the Barber single. And all of a sudden, WA and all their tournament experience is starting to express itself a little bit. But we're going to have a quick break in the action as head coach Chris Rickard heads out to have a conversation with Liam Coster. That's going to be a pitching change. Bring in number 37 for the Roos, Samuel Land. And Sam's also a Victorian native. Surely his family's out here at the game today. And he's just down the road at the Newport Baseball Club. We'll let him get a few pitches here to warm up and come back to you after a short station identification here on the Baseball Plus Network. Land on the mound. He's competed for Victoria previously, the AYCs in the under-16s in 2024, and actually in the under-18s last year. And he's not just a pitcher, by the way. He's a shortstop as well. In fact, he lists his primary position as shortstop. So that's a bit of a change of pace. But sometimes you got to bring in a guy who's going to throw some strikes, and Landy, as he likes to be called, is ready to answer the call. And this is an important moment really in the game, an inflection point, if you will, for the ACT, because they're in this ball game, and this is the first game that they've really been in. The big difference between the earlier game, they had bases loaded 3 times, they scored a couple of times. Now they scored 5 times today, I believe, if I've got it right with the bases loaded. So they really want to stay in the ball game here as Harry Wooden steps in from the Wanneroo Giants, who plays playing center field today. And Wooden takes ball 1. Ball 2. Wooden's got the good eye. Wooden also an AYC representative for WA in 2024 in the under 16s, as well as 2025. 2-0. Woody, as he's called, is primarily an outfielder. And he takes ball 3. Again, inflection point for for ACT and for WA for that matter. WA trying to win a game that probably the odds makers say that they should win, and the boys from the ACT trying to get in here to claim a game that they've got every crack at. But the tables are beginning to turn with a walk and an error and a run scored, a walk and a couple of hits. A couple of walks and a hit. And just like that, WA has a chance. These experienced guys, 15 players who played national championships for charter. And the catcher, Monty Smith, steps in and takes ball 1. Yeah, I can't say enough about Monty Smith and that catch and tag. I'll probably do it all day. Ball 2. Not where the ACT Roos want to be. This is the game that they can win, but they've got to find a way to get out of it here with not too much more damage. 3-0. You'd hate to see another walk here. Sorry, I don't mean to be pessimistic. I'm sure there are many people around the country watching, following these Roos guys. Like, you kind of want to cheer for them. These guys are the underdogs. Nice. Oh, just missing the. Oh, did get in the outside corner too. Fantastic. Kelly had to work a little bit to catch it. He was set up for a little more inside than outside, but it still missed the corner, according to home plate umpire Sean Bourne. And that's just going to miss on that one, and that brings in another run with the bases loaded walk, extends the lead to 6-4 for WA. That'll bring up the first baseman, who's played out for a few balls today to stretch and make his teammates look good. That'll step up from the Wanneroo Giants, Chase Bentzman, stepping in to hit with the bases loaded. Another quick break in the action here. A little bit of a visit to have a conversation. You hope at the end of the day, a few words of wisdom might make the difference, but time will tell. But as Bentzman steps into the plate, he's played for Wanneroo and been at Nationals. Bentzman again steps in to face Land. Apologies. Ball gets by, play at the plate. Not going to be in time. Another run for WAs. They're starting to put a little distance. And with nobody out, runners on second and third, that 3-run lead could get a little bit bigger and start to put that game out of reach. One ball, no strikes. Land hits the outside corner for strike 1. Off speed, misses in. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bentzman a little late on that fastball, drives it foul. Evens the count at 2-2. Bentzman first got involved in baseball and introduced by a friend, and he loves hitting. Let's see how he hits here. And he does. He loves hitting it up the middle. He's going to drive in 2 more runs with that. Ball gets by the center fielder, but that's really not going to make a difference and won't be ruled an error, because at the end of the day, both runs were going to score. Wooden plates, Smith plates, and just like that, in this 5-run inning, WA's going a long way towards putting it away. That's Bentzman's 3rd hit on the day. Drives in another run. And this is the point where it's starting to get just that little bit out of reach for the ACT boys. That'll bring up the second baseman, again, 8th in the lineup today, second baseman Ben Hanna. Nice off-speed pitch, good curveball for strike one. And Hanna settles in. Ground ball. Can't quite make the backhand stop at third, Kai Harris. He's made a fair few efforts on the dive, but couldn't quite handle that on the backhand. And he wisely held on to the ball. And look, sometimes the discretion is the better part of valor. He didn't try to take that mistake and fix it. You see, just doesn't quite get that hop. But good on him for not actually trying to make that throw, because the last thing you want to do is turn this into, an error and 2 more bases for the batter or for the runners. Nice effort there on Kelly as number 9 hitter Joel Vlasic steps in. He doubled in his last at bat. He's out of South Perth, playing left field today. And he fouls it back to even the count at 1-1. Vlasic is no strangers to the AYCs as well. He's represented WA in the under-16s and in the schoolboys as well. And he's pleased to be here in the under-18s. I actually was in the under-18s last year in 2025. Good effort. Kelly's been doing a nice job behind the plate, keeping the ball in front of him. It's not an easy job for a catcher. At least it's a little bit cooler day than they had yesterday, playing 2. There's that effort again from Harris, but just past his glove. That's going to ring Bensman around to score. Hanna advances to second. And another hit for Vlasic. He's reached 3 times today. And that allows WA to turn it around to the top of the order. We're starting to see where this game is going, but WA is a strong team. We talked about it early in the broadcast. 15 players, I believe, who played at the national level before. And that's ball 1 to Branch. And again, we still have nobody out. Nice pitch in the inside corner to even the count at 1-1. Again, 15 players on this WA squad have won national charter championships. Drive, that's probably going to fall foul. Maybe it's going to drop in there. Yep, just a bit foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. As Branch, I believe, is looking for still his first hit on the day. A lot of hits, but Branch is, but he has reached twice, being hit by the opening pitch of the game and then walking in the second at bat. As we have a little bit of timeout on the play, letting the left fielder get back into position. Good work on Costner's part, giving Barden a chance to get back into position. Just missed on the inside corner. Evens the count at 2-2. Costner fires. Nice piece of hitting, going to split the outfielders. That's going to plate the 6th run of the inning. Sorry, 7th run of the inning. As Hanna crosses the plate. Ball's a little bit loose around the infield. That allows Branch to turn a single into advance, not really a double, but advancing to second base. Chase Benson comes in to score. That's 7 runs on the inning. Part of the rule here in the AYCs is we call it at 7 runs in an inning. So a nice effort by WA to pull away. As you'll see, that ball splits the gap. And all of a sudden, what was a very close game is now, 5-5 as we started the 4th, is now 12-5 in favor of WA, with the ACT coming up to the plate. Well, if you're enjoying the broadcast today, brought to you by on Baseball Plus and produced by the great guys at Spacequake, you might want to tune in and watch some ABL baseball too. We're into round 10, and if you subscribe to the ABL postseason pass, you're going to get immediate access to round 10, currently on the docket, and that's actually for the playoffs as well, as Sydney's hoping to confirm a home series. The other teams are trying to figure out who's going to finish second, a home championship series for Sydney, while the other teams are trying to figure out who's going to finish second and third. So if you purchase your ABL Pass right now, you'll get the remainder of the games for round 9 and 10 on the docket for free. Head to baseballplus.baseball.com.au to lock in your pass today and support Australian professional baseball. So the hope here is that there's going to be an answer from the ACT Roos, and they have the top of the order to do it. That'll bring up the shortstop, number 16, Kai Yuki from Balcom Hills, as he takes strike one on the lower outside corner from Taylor Cook. Strike two. That's exactly what Kurt Russell wants to see out of Cook here, is go right after them. To be blunt about it, they've got the game in hand. No sense fooling around. Throw some strikes and make them hit the ball. And it looks like Cook's coming with some good velocity there. Good effort by Yuki to protect the plate and stay alive. Still 0-2 here as we're halfway through the ball game, halfway through the scheduled ball game as we step into the bottom of the fourth. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Yuki. He played in the AYCs last year as a 16 and under participant. Ground ball. Quinn Fatai grabs it, throws across to first. Made it easy on Benson that time. It was a simple stretch. He didn't have to lay out on the ground. And 6-3 if you're scoring at home. 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth with with the ACT really hoping that they might have an answer. Now stepping up from New South Wales is the center fielder, number 14 from the Yarrawarra Tigers. It's Joseph Lotan at the plate. Now, as our colleague Eric Belnar was sharing with you a bit earlier in the broadcast, he's had 2 hip surgeries at the start of 2005 as he takes ball 1. Ground ball again to Fatai. Quick grab across. Boy, he's making Benson work. Nice job by Benson. Hopefully one of these 15, 16 professional scouts and unknown number of NCAA coaches take note of how well that young man fields first base. They got to be proud back at the Wanneroo Giants. And by the way, probably going to... Now you notice the other Wanneroo Giant, Cooper Barber, coming across, just pulling his glove off at the last minute as Oscar Kelly steps in. We were talking about earlier, Kelly's done a nice job behind the plate today. A fair bit of work, kept the ball in front of him as he takes ball 1. Fouls that one straight back, 0-2. Boy, he needs to get on base here. This is exactly what Taylor Cook and Kurt Russell won, as a 1-2-3 inning after scoring 7. And if you're building a culture with these Roos guys, you'd hope that they might be able to get somebody on base and make something happen here. It's a little bit of an answer. And nothing wrong with it if they don't, by the way. It's a pretty tough ask to ask these guys to come together from 5 different states and the territory that they represent. And suddenly in their 4th game to discover magic. But you know what? They did discover a little bit magic earlier in the ballgame. And hopefully they can keep discovering that as they go. Ground ball might get up the middle. Another nice play by Benson on the low throw. Not too bad by Fatai. I'm not being too critical, but Benson's done a nice job over at first base. But 3 straight plays, 6-3. WA grabs their second 1-2-3 inning of the ball game, the second one overall of the ball game, and suddenly we're through 4 innings. And WA is leading the ACT Roos by a score of 12-5. Hey, I might hail from Chicago, but I've lived in Melbourne for the last 20 years. And one thing I love about Melbourne is it's a lot of things, actually, but people don't ever come here for just one thing. It's a city of individuals creating unique and enriching individual experiences for all the individuals who visit. Melbourne is a city that's every bit as exciting, every bit different. The electric energy of live music, the blues here are fantastic, meets the eclectic fashion, food and art, and of course coffee, 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 filling the streets and laneway with creativity at every corner. From the roaring excitement of one of its many sporting stadiums to the quiet solitude of that good cup of coffee, or even a world-class meal, you'll find it all in Melbourne. And really, the regions are here too. I love with my partner to get away out into the countryside. There's so many beautiful bits of Victoria that Phoebe and I go to explore the regions surrounding Melbourne, all of which must be experienced. You can leave the city behind here as well. But the one thing we must note, of all things, Melbourne is the only city in the world to host both an F1 Grand Prix and a Grand Slam tennis event. You can't meet what you find here in Melbourne. I came from Chicago, and that's why I stayed. Leading off here, the top of the fifth inning, he made all three plays in the last inning. The shortstop from Wanneroo, Quinn Fatai. And he takes strike one. That evens the count, 1-1 to Fatai. Perhaps they call him Fatih as well. Again from the Wanneroo Giants. He's reached base 3 times today. He's doubled, walked, and an error. Sitting on a 2-1 count here. And again, Oscar Kelly does a nice job keeping that ball in front of him behind the plate there. Really the unsung heroes, the catchers. I wonder how long Kelly's been catching for. It says here he doesn't have any nicknames. I always favor Crash as a nickname for the catchers. You'd know why. And he's actually playing the men's first grade for his club back home too, Kelly does. 3-2 count. Off-speed pitch, but it hangs right up there. Quinn drives a single for his second hit of the game, reaching base 4 times. And to break up our run of Wanneroo Giants coming to the plate, that'll bring up the designated hitter, number 19, Zy Gordon. He's struck out a couple of times today looking and then walked in his last at bat. Kept it in front of him, but just not. Kelly kept it in front of him, just not close enough, unfortunately. Quinn's a bit quick, as most shortstops are. He pounced on that and took second base. 1 ball, no strikes to the designated hitter for WA. That'll even the count, 1-1. Zy Gordon's been playing since he was in T-ball. T-ball, of course, as you would know, is a big game out in WA. Boy, that ball looked like he hit it off the tee right there. Going to drive in another run, extend that lead 13-5. RBI for Gordon on his first hit of the game. And all of a sudden we're back to another couple Wanneroo Giants as the third baseman, Cooper Barber, gets ready to step in. Look at that. It's almost like Coster put it on the tee the way he struck that. That's always a hard transition, by the way, coming out of WA. A lot of good hitters off the tee, and they played to a much later age, as late as even 12 years old. So making that transition is always a challenge, or is a challenge sometime, as Barber steps in. Coster delivers. Fastball down the middle. Didn't quite get what he wanted there. Fly ball going to be caught by Barden in right field for the first out of the inning. Fly out 9 if you're scoring in your books at home. And I love the club he's from, and I hope I'm saying Barden's club right as you see that ball drift out to right field. I think Barber would like that ball back again as Branch grabs that ball. I'm sorry, I misspoke. As Barden grabs that ball, and Harry Wooden, also from Wanneroo, steps in to hit. Oh, tough one. They've been making poor Oscar Kelly work hard today. And look, to be fair to Liam Coster, he's not necessarily a full-time pitcher either. Boy, please forgive me, all you fans of both Coster and Matthews. Matthews was actually a change at the start of the inning that I didn't get here with my I need my bifocal glasses. 2-0 count. We'll tell you a little bit more about Matthews in just a minute. Matthews is out of South Australia. He comes from the Southern Districts Club. 2-1 count. As the center fielder Wooden fouls it off to even the count at 2-2. 1 run in, 8-run lead, 13-5, top of 5. If memory serves, without looking at my rule sheet, I believe an 8-run lead will stop the game after 6 innings, so we've got a little bit to go as we're only in the top of 5, but the Roos fighting to stay in it. And again, we're talking about this group of kids. There's actually been some really nice performances, and if you saw the way they jumped out of the gate today and had answers and scored with and turned around their bad luck with the bases loaded, there's a lot to be said for these young guys as they're still coming together for a team, as a team, I should say. Nice base hit, drops in there. Boy, you didn't want to miss the cutoff man there. I mean, really at this point, late in the ball game, you're not too fussed, I guess, at this point. But that did fundamentally, that on the nice hit by Wooden, that did allow him to turn a double, not really a single, not really into a double, but did allow him to advance a base as we had Gordon come in to score. And so Wooden's sitting on second, and that'll bring up the catcher. Again, I'm going to laud him on that catch and tag earlier in the play. As you saw there on the replay, we didn't quite hit the cut. Monty Smith steps into the plate. Nice work back there by Kelly for ball 1. Will Matthews from South Australia kicks and delivers for the Roos. Strike 1. That evens the count at 1-1. Now Matthews has been spending some time in the U.S. where he played T-ball. It says here on our game notes, misses high for ball 2. He cites his father as someone who's been a big influence in his life, someone who's pushed him to be his best. So Dad must be proud today here at the AYCs. Deep drive. It's going to hang up though, the catchable ball. Nice catch actually by Don Hamilton out of Weston Creek, one of the native ACT players on the roster here for the Roos, as he makes the catch for the second out of the inning. F7 if you're scoring at home. Runner on second, 2 away. And we're back to another Wanneroo Giant. And you can't say enough about his effort at first base today to really make his teammates look well. Stepping to the plate is the first baseman, Chase Bensman. Ball one. Kelly keeps it in front. Just pops up high enough in the air. That's going to allow Wooden to take third base. And Chase lists as one of his goals is to be as consistent as he can in all aspects of play, and we certainly can say, as we've been through the broadcast, that he's been doing that at first base. Now he's hoping to drive and being consistent and driving another run. As Matthews misses high to make the count 2-0. And we got 2 away here. We're only going to score on a clean hit, an error, or some such thing. Chase hoping for that RBI. And he drives another one deep, but Hamilton looks like he's going to be on it. Another nice catch on a well-struck ball by Dom Hamilton out in right field. But not before WA grabs a couple more runs and extends that lead. For the boys from WA, 2 runs on 1, 2, 3 hits, 1 left on base. We're in the middle of 5 as ACT is led by WA by a score of 14-5. We'll be back in just a moment. Okay, here we are back for the bottom of the 5th inning. And we have a new pitcher for WA, for the Western Australians. On the mound now is Ryan Warner. Plays for the Magpies over there, the UWA, I presume that's University of Western Australia Magpies. And stepping to the plate for the ACT is the designated hitter Aiden Riddle, looking for his 3rd hit. Couple singles so far today. Matthews just misses with the off-speed pitch for ball 1. And Matthews fires a strike to even the count at 1-1. Ooh, just misses hitting Riddle. One ball, 1 strike to the designated hitter. My apologies, 2-1. Riddle also a pitcher in the designated hitter spot today. 3-1 to the designated hitter. He's played in the AYCs for Canberra previously. as Matthews fires strike 2 to make the count full here in the top of the 5th. And I apologize, I misspoke. As Ryan Warner walks the first batter he faces. I referred to him briefly as Matthews, the ACT pitcher. So Warner walks the first batter he faces, and that brings in the first baseman Owen Hughes from Central Districts in South Australia. Owen at first base today. And they say the best pitch in baseball is strike 1. Ryan Warner responds on his second batter. Warner's played in the AYCs in 2023, 2024. Ball in the dirt, actually hits the batter. A little bit of an auspicious start for Ryan Warner. But you know what, folks? It's not always as easy as it looks. Real easy for those of us broadcasting the game to tell you how it should be done. A little harder when you're down there on the field. That'll bring up Dom Hamilton. A couple nice catches last inning in the outfield. Again, he's from Weston Creek in the ACT. As he swings through strike 1. On the day, he's grounded out to short and struck out looking, hoping to come good here in this at-bat and drive in a run for the Roos. Two strikes. Ryan Warner goes by Rhino, gets ahead in the count, hoping to turn this inning around. He wears number 25, by the way, because that's the number his family has always worn. Good miss there with 2 strikes. Nice curveball. Again, he plays for the UWA Magpies in the State League, and he's represented WA in the AYCs in 2024 and 2023, as we mentioned before. And he's done so for the ACT previously as well. Fastball misses away, evens the count at 2-2. One of the things he's working on the most, he says, is pitching command. And we're seeing a little bit of that early in the ball game. But you know what? Great move on Kurt Russell's part to get him in the ball game, to give him the opportunity to do that. Low pressure outing. 9-run ball game. Throws a strike there, fouled off by Hamilton. Hamilton again looking to get on with his first hit of the game today. Warner got into the game because he saw his big brother wanting to play. Gotta love that. Two-two count. Rhino comes set, looking for command, and delivers a strike, fouled off. Good hustle by Monty Smith behind the plate. I bet he is thankful for the cool change that we got overnight. Though these guys in WA, with the weather been getting out there, they're probably, what we were seeing in Victoria yesterday just was par for the course. But ideal weather conditions here in the low to mid-20s here at Essendon after we reached above 40 yesterday. 2-2 pitch. Warner comes set and delivers. Nice curveball. Gets the strikeout. Second one of the day for Hamilton. And with one away, 2 runners on, that's going to bring up from the Angels in New South Wales, the right fielder, Sam Barden. You see that swing there. That was a good pitch. Had real good command on that one. As Warner records his first strikeout. Nice fastball, swings through it. Barden does. Barden also looking for his first hit. He's flown out to left and flown out to right thus far on the day, and now he's sitting down 0-1 in the count, trying to find that pitch to hit from 25. Warner on the hill, wearing his family number. just missed it, put it in the air on the infield, just over the infield. That, by the way, if you see umpire Pat Warner's arm in the air, that was an infield fly, ultimately caught by Vlasic, I believe, coming out of left field. Got it on the replay. Now watch Pat White in the infield here. You'll see his arm go up in the air on the replay. That's because it's an infield fly. So that means the batter is out. Runners can advance at their own risk. There's Vlasic coming across, just like he did on that earlier play that jumped in that was also called an infield fly. And Warner fires for strike one. Now what an infield fly means is, the reason if you're watching at home is, there's a ball that should be obviously caught or easily caught, and what fielders could do in that situation is we let this next pitch come in. Just miss low, even in the count at 1-1. Now, theoretically, a ball in the infield, a runner doesn't want to get doubled up if it's caught, right? So you don't want to put the fielder in a position where they can drop it on purpose and force out two runners and really turn an easy one-out pop-up into 2 outs instead of 1. And that's not fair to the fielders. Ball 2 in the dirt. So that's what an infield fly is. Essentially, if it's an easily caught ball on or near the infield in the umpire's judgment, they call it out, so it cannot be purposefully dropped, and there has to be at least 2 runners on base and less than 2 outs, so the team can't turn a sneaky, cheeky double play. Now that was called a strike. We're 2-2 count. But what happened on the earlier play, and forgive me, I don't have the inning off the top of my head, early in the ball game, we had that infield fly drop in, so the batter was out. And then center fielder Wooden threw it in. Ground ball in the infield. A charging Barber grabs it from the Giants. Across the infield to Benson for the 3rd out of the inning. No runs on no hits. Nobody left on base for New South Wales. 9 runs down. We could be into our last inning here. As you see on the replay, nice ground ball. Great job of charging that. They say you always want to charge the high hop. It's much easier if you catch it in the air, but also you come off that high hop, and if you let it hit the ground again, it's coming down with a lot of energy, and you don't know what it's going to do. So you want to charge it, either get it in the air, or at least charge it so you can get it on the subsequent short hop in order that the high energy ball doesn't necessarily skip through you on a bad hop. So that was well played, well taught by Kurt Russell to his team, and probably the coaches at Wanneroo to Cooper Barber, who makes the play and makes a good throw across to his club teammate Chance Benson. We are through 5 complete, and we're sitting on a substantial lead for WA over the ACT Roos by a score of 14-5.
That ball is out of here.
Don't miss a moment with the ABL Access Pass. Get yours today.
right, folks, we're here in the top of the 6th, and unless this lead changes, this will be our last inning. 8 runs shortens the game to 6 innings. And stepping in for WA is the second baseman, number 7, Ben Hanna, looking for his first hit on the day. Reached on a walk and an error. And strike 1. Still on the mound is William Matthews out of South Australia, who's pitching for the ACT Roos. Matthews comes set and delivers. Nice off-speed pitch. Hanna swings through it to fall behind 0-2. Another off-speed pitch. Good job keeping it in front of him. Oscar Kelly behind the plate. 1-2 to Hanna. Boy, Hanna's played a lot of rep ball. From Little League Nationals in 2021 to Senior League Nationals in 2025. Nice line drive, but an even nicer catch by Owen Hughes at first base for the first out of the inning. And with one away, that'll bring the hard hustling left fielder, number 27. Oh, look at that catch. Not sure how you do it better than that. We bring up number 27, Joel Vlasic, the hard hustling. Oh, and a nice piece of hitting by Vlasic. That'll be his 3rd hit on the game and his 4th time he's reached his 2nd double on the ball game as he stands up for an uncontested double. Boy, they might need to move him off at the bottom of the order the way Vlasic is hitting today. First pitch double to start the inning. Look at that. Nice piece of hitting. Nice pop off that tin bat. As usual, good hustle out in the outfield by Don Hamilton out of Weston Creek, one of the 3 native ACT players on the roster today. And that'll bring up strike 1 on the get me over curveball as we turn over the order. Top of the order, Carlton Branch. Matthews delivers. 1-1 count. Ooh, nice piece of hitting again. Branch drives it. Another double. They're going to trade places. RBI for the pride of the South Perth Baseball Club. Carlton Branch trades places with South Perth's Joel Vlasic for an RBI. And that's going to bring us a break in the action as we change pitchers once again. Apologies, we're not changing pitchers. We're actually making a positional change. We'll get that to you in just a moment. We do have a positional change. That would be Angus Saggers. He's out of Melbourne here, at the Melbourne Baseball Club. And we just got confirmation it is a ghost fielder. So what we're seeing there is Dom Hamilton is coming in potentially to pitch in the next, if necessary, a little later in the inning. And this is a rule that's in place, a free substitution, if you will, to allow the pitcher to be properly warmed up before they enter the game. That brings up Quinn Fatai. Sorry if I'm not getting that right. I apologize to those of you back at Morley. I will have to ask him specifically after the game to make sure that I get it right next time. But he's had a nice game at short, made a couple nice plays. He's also doubled and singled as well as reached on a walk and an error today. Got by Kelly. That's going to allow Branch to advance to third. Yeah, we got a 2-0 count on that ball in the dirt. Kelly couldn't quite get in front of it, but you can't blame him. Down 10 runs down, absolutely worked your tail off behind the plate today. Again, thank God it's not 40 degrees. 2-0 count to Quinn. And Quinn records his 3rd hit of the game, another single. Drives in a run, makes it 11-run lead, 16-5 ball game. But the Roos are going to get another crack at it. Though, that being said, they wouldn't be able to score more than 7 in the inning, but if memory serves the way the rule works, they would still bat the inning nonetheless. And up steps Zy Gordon from Morley. And I apologize, I referenced Quinn as being from Morley a moment ago. He's actually from Wanneroo, one of the cast of characters from the Wanneroo Giants. As the actual Morley Eagles, Zy Gordon steps in and takes ball 1. I'm sorry, strike 1. Nice curveball, really nice curveball across the plate by Matthew Williams out of South Australia. Takes that one for 0-2. The DH Gordon does. Runner on first, and nobody out. I'm sorry, 1 out on that nice line drive grab. That was Owen Hughes before we tracked down that screamer by second baseman Ben Hanna. But we're still sitting 2-0 here on the DH Gordon. And Matthews comes set to deliver. Another curveball. He's fallen in love with that. Still 0-2. Gordon just gets a piece of that to stay alive. Or he does not. He does not. Sorry about that. He foul tip. And held on by Kelly for the 2nd out of the inning. Nice job by Kelly to hold on to that. As Cooper Barber steps in from that Wanneroo Giants cast of characters. And evens the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Barber on the day has a couple of singles. Looking for his 3rd hit with 2 away here in the 6th. 2 balls, 1 strike. Nice effort by Kelly again. Hard-working kid. Now Barber got into baseball because his dad's friend named Nath got him into it, and he's loved working with Andy Kyle through the years, a stalwart of baseball over in WA2. Nice piece of hitting there. That's going to split the outfielders and get to the fence. Is it going to bounce over? It does for a ground rule double. Unfortunately, Cooper gets robbed of an RBI because surely Quinn would have scored. His teammate from Wanneroo would have scored all the way from first on that one. He had a great jump, particularly with 2 outs. He didn't have to pause with the ball in the air. But because it's a ground rule double, both runners only advance 2 bases. No further runs scored just yet as Cooper Barber records his 3rd hit of the game. We've got a change here as head coach Chris Rickard steps out, and we're going to take a short break in the action. Well, we have a pitching change, and that shouldn't be any surprise as to who it is. The former left fielder, Dom Hamilton, who came off for the substitute fielder, the courtesy fielder, the ghost fielder, so he could warm up to pitch. Here he is actually coming into the game to throw. A little bit of mop-up duty for Dom. And I guess this means at some points Angus Saggers is officially the left fielder. If he was listed as ghost fielder before. Yeah, so Saggers is in. He was the ghost fielder before, but this would make him officially the left fielder now that Dom Hamilton has re-entered the game, or technically never left it, if you will. If that makes sense to you guys at home. So Saggers was in the game unofficially because Dom continued to hold his position in the game as he left the field to get warm to make this later change to become pitcher. So now Saggers officially enters the game. This is the complicated world of baseball, but you got to like when they make the good rules here and there just to make it a little safer and easier for these versatile players. One of the things that, by the way, that ACT talks about if you read and learned a bit about them, it's a group of utility players. A lot of these guys can do a lot of different things, and that's why you get a guy like Dom who's out there playing left field through most of the game and making a few nice catches, by the way, who's suddenly on the mound to do a little mop-up duty here today. But he's got the ACT Roos have their work cut out for them, that's for sure. Really just trying to keep this no more than 10 runs or now 11 runs if they can help it. But we'll see how we go. Now Hamilton has been a representative at the AYCs. He has done, as we talked about, he's actually an ACT native. He's been playing in the Little League Championship since 2021, and he's not missed a season at Nationals since then. So the very experienced ACT veteran steps on the mound. Oh, now we've got another change. Number 44, so Saggers will not stay in the game in the outfield, and the designated hitter, Riddle, number 44, is going to come across, because essentially by having a position player come in, you've got to do something with the DH. With the DH is in the outfield, and Harry Wooden will be stepping in for WA here. Wooden takes ball one. He's got a single and a walk on the day, also hit by a pitch. So he is looking to score a further 2 runs if he can with a base hit for WA, but there's 2 out. So to help you understand that positional change, when a position player comes into the game like that, you either lose your DH or the DH needs to come into the field. And in this case, number 44, Riddle, the DH, did come in to play the field. And Saggers, therefore, has not officially entered the game, even though he's been part of our broadcast today. And that's ball 2-0. So while we have a chance, we hardly knew you, Mr. Saggers, but we acknowledge your contribution to the game to allow your teammate to get ready. As Hamilton throws ball 3. Now he does have first base open, so maybe he doesn't want to throw a cookie here and he wants to just settle in on the next hitter, but we'll see how we go. And the ball gets by. Oh, that's going to be another run. So we got Quinn out of Wanneroo crossing the plate for the 17th run. We've got ball 4 in the dirt with runners on first and third as Barber advances to third and Woodson takes the walk. And that'll bring up the catcher. Talked about him enough today, done a nice job. Monty Smith out of Rockingham. He's got a double, a walk, a couple of flyouts, and a potential RBI on third base. Now he takes ball 1. Sorry, it takes strike 1 from Hamilton as he fires. Nice off speed on the outer half. Couldn't quite get it around on it, and Smith falls behind 0-2. But I want to get back to our guy, Saggers. Angus Saggers. He was here, but he wasn't. The ghost player. As Hamilton gets ready to make the 0-2 delivery. Oh, that's a drive. Going to be back. Does it over the head of the former DH, now left fielder Riddle. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. And that's a stand-up triple for Monty Smith. Done a nice job behind the plate and batting. Drives in a couple. As this thing's getting out of hand at 19-5. Take a look at this. Riddle perhaps a little bit shallow for a hitter of Monty's caliber. We've also had a bit of wind today, but that's going to go. He has no chance. That's all the way to the fence. And that brings up from the Wanneroo Giants. He's done a great job at first base today, Chase Bensman. Hoping to have a crack himself. Oh, he does. He does have a crack, or more accurately, Don Hamilton has a crack at him. Of course, there was nothing going on there. None of that was in anger. It's just a ball that got away from him. And at least it got him in the back and not on a finger or an elbow or someplace like that that can cause a lot of damage. And that'll bring up the second baseman. Looking for his first hit today, Ben Hanna. That's hit well. Back, back, back. Is that going to get over his head? Wow, what a nice catch. Not quite. Joseph Lowton from the Yarrawarra Tigers, another native ACT player out there, tracks it down for the 3rd out of the inning. We're going to have to count Ben as unlucky in that instance. And we are now in the middle of the 6th and potentially final inning. Look at that catch. Wow. A lot of ground covered out there by Lowton. Well played. Nice job. If you're watching back at Yarrawarra, tip your glass of that young man. Nice catch. And again, these ACT guys are just coming together. We are in the middle of 6, probably our last inning, with WA leading the Roos by a score of 19-5. Okay, we got a couple of changes here. The right fielder for WA, Colin Branch out of South Perth, is going to take the mound and mop-up duty. The DH, Zy Gordon from Morley, is gone out to play right. As Colin delivers ball 1 to Joel. Sorry. Yeah. To Harris as he flies out. Harris with the substitution there. And Angus is in the game. Fantastic. We thought he was only going to be our ghost player, but Angus Saggers is in the game, going to have a hack as he takes strike 1. And he was just given number 9. He says that's his number. He plays Division I State League Reserves and Under 19 Big League as he has a hack. Nice play across the diamond. Oh, making him work all day long. You got to take your hat off to first baseman Chance Benson, what a play. Another pick as Quinn throws one across the diamond. Watch this. Does a nice job coming in to charge it. Snags it. Across the diamond. And good play there, actually. He puts it on the hop, so it's really easy to read. No, 2 away. That brings up Joseph Lofton, who made that nice catch last inning. Lofton made that really nice catch in center as he takes ball 1. So it Harris on the fly out. Saggers on the ground ball. And 2 away. This would be it with Lowton at the plate facing Branch. Ball in the air. Got a beat on it. Oh, nobody can get it. That's all right. These things happen sometimes. Chase Benson couldn't quite get it because of the runner, and then at the same time Colin Branch was a little impeded by the runner. Not that the runner stopped or anything like that. Lowton was just doing his job running to first base. And we're sitting on a 2-1 count. Lowton looking for his 3rd hit of the game. And sure enough, no, he doesn't get it. It's off the mound. Nice grab by Ben Hanna over to first. A chance. Benson for the 3rd out. In the 6th, what is it, the last inning? No runs on no hits. At least we got that ghost man, Angus Saggers, into the game. Again, our hats off to these ACT guys. They really did show that they're coming together early in the game. They didn't back down from these reigning silver medalists from WA. They stood their ground, coming from 5 states and 3 boys from the native territory. They stood their ground, took advantage of opportunities, but just in the end, they were overpowered by a team that's got 15 guys who've won a national championship at charter level, guys who've played internationally. It wasn't probably a fair fight, and the ACT boys sure made it into something early, and so our hats off to them, and certainly our hats off to the WA guys. They're showing that they belong in this tournament, and they're trying to keep their standing. Just to give you an update on the records now, so New South Wales continues to sit on top at 2-0, but now they are tied by WA sitting at 2-0. Victoria sits behind at 1-0, as does South Australia. Queensland 0-1. New South Wales Country coming up next at 1-2. ACT drops to 0-4. So again, it's New South Wales and WA at the top in this tournament, 2-0. Vic and South Australia at 1-0. Queensland sitting behind them at 0-1, and then you have New South Wales Country at 1-2 and ACT at 0-4. Now, speaking of New South Wales Country, we have them coming up next against 0-1 Queensland, so this could be a nice matchup coming up next. We ask you to stay tuned here on Baseball Plus, working with you with Space Quake at the Essendon Baseball Club. But we are through what was early a very competitive game between the ACT Roos, bringing guys from 5 states and 3 players from the ACT against a very veteran team from WA. We got a final score of 19-5. We appreciate you tuning in. Stay tuned on Baseball Plus. Lots more baseball coming today and through the weekend. I'm Robert Novotny. I have been your host. Look forward to seeing you along the way.